Hello students, today in your geometry class we're going to be working on coordinate geometry. So for the warm-up, let's try a couple of quick practice problems. Hopefully by now you've paused your screen and you're just checking your answers. Now in this instance, on number 1, you have a isosceles trapezoid. It means that the two left sides or the two diagonals are going to be congruent to one another. Therefore, 7x equals 2x plus 5 should be equal to one another. You're going to subtract 2x to both sides. You get 5x equals 5 and x equals 1. For number 2, you know that this angle here is 2x. This one right here is 3x. You know that this is 90 degrees. And obviously this is 10x minus 6. Now because you have a right triangle on the bottom left, we know that 2x plus 10x minus 6 plus 90 equals 180. When we subtract 90 to both sides, we get 2x plus 10x minus 6 equals 90. So we're going to have 12x minus 6 equals 90. Add 6 to both sides. 12x equals 96. And when we divide by 12 to both sides, we get x equals 8. Now, the purpose of this is that at the end of this lesson, you should be able to identify points of a shape on a coordinate plane. So this is going to take some time because it's really going to need you to understand how these points are located. So because it's on a coordinate plane, they're given values like 1, 2, or 3. But in coordinate geometry for geometry, they give you variables, which shouldn't be that much different. You just need to understand how they're related. So we have this picture for number 1, and it says find ME. Find the length of ME. Now, for this one, ME is this line right here. Now, if we're trying to find that and it's a horizontal line, then really all we're looking at are the x's. So it went from A to 2A. So ME is really just the distance or the difference in 2A minus A. Therefore, ME equals A. For number 2, they want us to find ET. So ET is a little bit more difficult because it is diagonal. So because of that, we have to draw a right triangle, which we're going to do. We did the hypotenuse, the one we want in red. And then we're going to go ahead and draw these lines like so. Okay, now we know the distance of this base went from A to 2A. Therefore, this is now a distance of A. And we know from 0 to 2B, it's 2B in terms of the height. So ET is actually, if you think about it, is the Pythagorean theorem. So it's used to being A squared plus B squared equals C squared, where C is the hypotenuse. And because the hypotenuse in this instance is ET, then we have ET squared. We know that that's equals, and we know that our A is obviously A in this instance, so A squared plus 2B quantity squared equals ET squared. So now that we have ET squared equals A squared plus 4B squared, then we know that ET is equal to the square root of A squared plus 4B squared. And let me draw in our square root sign. So ET is equal to this. Now for the next problem, it gives us this image and it wants us to find the points for E, T, and I. So let's make this as simple as possible and look at what's given. We know that for point T, it moved horizontally. So the distance here shown with this blue line is actually a. That distance is a, as you can see on the bottom left, because the x-coordinate is a comma 0. Now we look at r. R is also given. Now it says for r, the x distance from left to right, it went from 0 to 4a. So if you think about it, if this small portion right here is a and the entire thing is 4a, that must mean the distance from within this, what looks like a square, must be 3a. Then we're going to look at the height. The height's simple because it starts off at 0, which means that we went up from 0. Now we're at 3b. So now that we have the basis of these values, we could solve for e and I now. Now in terms of the x value for e, it's lined up with t, so we know that it's a. The distance is a. So that's a, and the height is the same as r, so that's also 3b. For point I, we know that it's lined up with r, which in terms of x is 4a, and it didn't go up or down, therefore the height is 0. Now it's your turn. Try problems 1 and 2. And I want you to post these problems to Edmodo. First they'll start, everyone else will just reply. That's all for now. See you guys next time.